People look at stories through different lenses. I have my own personal take on some of these trending issues. Hi, I'm Mariah Ramharack and welcome to In Case You Missed It. Making the headlines last week, the West Indies versus South Africa. Is the regional team's traditional power-hitting approach costing them T20 wins? Wow, what a surprise it seems. We were all looking forward to the big Olympic clash between top sprinters Jamaica's Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce and the USA's Sha'Carri Richardson. Richardson is now out of the picture, so what does that mean for the women's 100 meters? Welcome to another edition of In Case You Missed It. Let's get straight to business. Well, speaking on the Sportsmax Zone after the third T20 International, cricket commentator Fazir Mohammed pointed out that traditional West Indian power hitting was not the only method to win a match and in fact could in some cases be a liability.
There were 48 dot balls. That is the equivalent of 8 maiden overs. So if you just pause to think about that, 8 maiden overs in a 20-over match, basically you are shortchanging yourself. You are essentially so preoccupied with this power-hitting narrative, which it works well sometimes, it looks spectacular and so on, and indeed the West Indies may refine it by the time we get around to the World T20. But it leaves a level of a one-dimensional style of play that whether you bring in new players or you go with this crop of players or you pick players on the fringe, if they continue to play the same way, because we saw that from Hetmeyer when he came in, we saw that from Simmons when he came in as well, that there isn't a lot of preoccupation with picking up 1s, 2s, 3s, maybe even 4s. It's all about hitting 6s. And yes, when it comes off, it is spectacular, as we saw in the first match on Saturday. But as we've seen in the subsequent 2 matches, it shows up a bit of a one-dimensional style to our play.
Fazir might just be onto something. In some instances, it could certainly serve the Windies batsmen to adapt better to situations, as opposed to boundary hunting and in some instances ending up with rash shots. The problem with always looking for 4s and 6s is, of course, that players do not rotate the strike, which also prevents the team from keeping the runs ticking over. In turn, that builds more pressure at the crease throughout the innings, with batsmen increasingly having to take reckless approaches to put runs on the board. It is clear that South Africa's bowlers have read the script. They have so far this series mastered the art of frustrating the Windies batsmen, thereby tricking them into playing unwise strokes. Well, head coach Phil Simmons has urged the team to be disciplined in their batting approach, but captain Kieron Pollard has taken somewhat of a different approach, insisting the West Indies would not compromise on their power-hitting strengths. He sees it as an advantage, and to be fair to Pollard, the power-hitting approach has seen the team capture 2 World Cups. No better example of how effective it can be than Carlos Brathwaite's dismantling of Ben Stokes in the final over of the 2016 tournament. It seems, however, that teams are increasingly figuring out how to bog down the Windies batsmen, and that could be a problem heading into the tournament. Well, also trending this week, the Pocket Rocket clocked a speedy 10.71 to claim the 100-meter crown and lifetime best of 21.79 to take the 200 meters. The USA's Sha'Carri Richardson had also been impressive in winning the 100-meter at the US Olympic trials the previous week. And it seemed the mega Olympic showdown was very much on the cards. Well, so much for that. Richardson tested positive for a prohibited substance and had her US Olympic trials time of 10.86 provisionally disqualified. Even with Sha'Carri in the picture, Fraser-Pryce's run of 10.71 at the national trials and gold medal winning know-how made her a strong favorite. With Sha'Carri out of it, the Jamaican has one less obstacle to worry about in her bid for a third gold medal. She will still, however, be running against a quality field, which includes reigning Olympic champion Elaine Thompson-Herah and now Shericka Jackson, who clocked 10.77 in the semi-finals at the trials to surprise everyone. There is, of course, also Great Britain's Dina Asher-Smith, who will also certainly be in contention. We were all looking forward to the big matchup, but the women's 100-meter remains very much alive. But what do you think? Is Fraser-Pryce a lock for gold? As usual, it has been a pleasure being with you. That's a wrap for this week's In Case You Missed It. Be sure to like, share and comment, and I look forward to hearing what you think about this week's topics. Stay safe and I'll see you next week.